Yo, what up, YouTube? All right, gonna mix it up a little bit today. Talk about the medicinal benefits of smoking marijuana, aka cannabis, aka ganja, chronic weed. All right, so let's start with alchemy. Anytime we burn something, we alter its chemical state. It is no longer what it once was. And anything we set fire to, we essentially rob its life essence, creating an acidic, synthetic chemical of what it once was. All right. So, on that note, marijuana does have medicinal benefits. I do recognize that, as do lots of other herbs in nature. But the way or the form in which we ingest it is critical. This is alchemy. This is a part of everything in life. Everything has an alchemical process. Your body takes the shit garbage that you put in it and it stimulates you to keep moving. I mean, I don't really know how we can put so much shit in our bodies and they still work as well as they do. I mean, that just goes to show how powerful the alchemical process is. All right, so I'll start with some of the limited curative properties of marijuana. When it's made into a tea, its whole form, blended, or not blended, but steeped into a tea, or maybe used as a poultice on a wound, or somewhat eaten raw, although humans lack the multiple stomachs and the molars for digesting grass because we're not herbivores. We don't really belong in a certain class. We are not frugivores, we're not omnivores, we're not carnivores. All right. Maybe some other ways might be to juice the cannabis. But I mean, even then, it's like going to the store, getting some GMO fruits and veggies and juicing those, if you really want to be doing that. They tout it like the CBD oil for seizures, but really what they should be asking is what is causing the seizure in the first place? What is causing these issues that are leading these people to use these high CBD oils for their kids or their children with autism, or smoking so they can develop an appetite? Maybe it's nature telling you need to fast, heal the body. But I digress. All right, so when we burn marijuana and it's smoked, it's transformed into, burnt plant matter, high temperature, and then there are also toxic chemicals, which are carcinogenic oils, which are acidic in their nature. Acids will eat away the fundamental cause of, what some people might say the fundamental cause of human illness is systemic acidosis, which is inflammation, just waste in the vessel. All right, so this chemical becomes a depressant within our bodily functions, nerve activity. And what I mean by that is it will depress all of the normal functions that the body wants to do. This may lead to dull thinking because, once again, you're depressing brain function, poor circulation, so you're actually hindering the fluid of life, blood, because when you ingest smoke into your lungs, you're constipating the spongy material that your lungs are made out of, which will affect your breathing, which will decrease gland function. You're essentially speeding up the aging process, as with any stimulant that you put in your body. These tiny droplets of toxic oil, or the resin, when we burn the resin, we convert it to what it once was into what it is now with fire. Fire is used to destroy. And fire does have its place. I mean, you got to break it down to rebuild it, but not in this sense. Not in this way. Not with marijuana. All right. And then when we carry this smoke into our lungs, it scars the lung tissue. The resin clogs the spongy tissue of the lungs, reduces oxygen, what is vital to every single cell in our body. And this will literally just lead to suffocation. All right. And on another note, do you really want to go into the store and buy the most genetically modified foods you can possibly find? Because that's what you're doing with marijuana. Really though. We're trying to get the highest THC, the highest CBD content by genetically modifying these plants using synthetic chemicals, synthetic fertilizers. They're grown indoors, giving off electromagnetic radiation. They're being pumped full of molasses to increase the sugar or resin content, which is addictive. And the most medicinal form of marijuana is going to be marijuana that's found growing in nature. As with anything, like it's common sense. Most of the plants are grown with such nutrient deficiencies and lacking in so many vital minerals. Most marijuana is grown with NPK, with an addition of calcium. They're catching on to now, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, which is not near what you would find with the plants growing out in the wild. And this genetically modified version of what once was leads it to become much more addictive, resulting in mild physical as well as strong mental, emotional withdrawal symptoms. And I am seriously speaking from experience. I have smoked a hell of a lot of ganja. I have put myself through a hell of a lot of pain. I have hated myself, just been self-hating, smoking myself into a coma, wanting to numb myself, not wanting to deal with whatever was going on. And I mean, that's just from personal experience, but some of the physical withdrawal symptoms might be cold sweats, anxiety, which is a physical and mental and emotional withdrawal symptom, mood irregularity, issues with coping, relationship issues, because you're used to being in one state or viewing life through one perspective, which was much duller, much more numbed out, much less sensitive, and now you're experiencing life in its whole form. You're experiencing all of the qualities of life, and it can be pretty difficult when you're coming off a 1 year long high, basically 2 year long high, 3 year long high, however much you've done it. I have just had so many signals to stop, and thank goodness I have, because I have been at times so conflicted, just knowing what it's doing to me, and just still doing it just because I just don't want to deal with what is. And I'm not saying that like it's good or bad, or that I'm better than you or you're better than me or any of that. I'm just telling you that for me, it did not fit in my relative evolution or personal growth. And for me, the cleaner I got, the more I detoxified, the harder it was to smoke. I mean, so much harder. Even to take a small bong rip, I mean, just before the smoke even hit my lungs, I mean, there was just total contraction, and my body was just screaming at me, telling me not to do it, but I just had to go back to a less conducive diet. Honestly, I had to to hurt myself in so many other ways just so I could keep putting this poison into my body. And I'm not saying it's totally poison. Back to the alchemical process, it's the way it's ingested. The way it's ingested. And so I'm gonna leave you guys with a few questions. When you're smoking, ask yourself, what is the substance doing for you? Do you have control over the substance, or does the substance have control over you? And from a fundamental perspective of duality, we are energy, personified, or a denser form. So, what is marijuana doing for your energy levels? Are you smoking it and feeling the energy, or are you smoking it and having your life essence or energy robbed from you? Do you have an identity with marijuana? Because I sure as hell did. Do you like the fact that you're high, or do you like the fact that you're no longer sober? Are you using it to numb yourself, or are you using it to enlighten yourself? Because it is a powerful psychedelic. I mean, just like the, like mycelium or cabenzes, magic mushrooms. These can all be used as tools to gain perspective and view life from a different lens, but it's not really to be abused. And we only need that experience once. I mean, if we're really with it, we only need it once. Because other than that, you're just learning the same lesson over and over and over again, and nobody enjoys repeating high school over and over and over again. And my last question to you is, do you use it out of self-love or self-hate? All right, guys, just a little food for thought. I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know if there's any other videos that you guys have for me that you'd like me to make. You can find me on Facebook, Doug Brunson. Yeah, guys, just wanted to keep it real with you. Much love. Peace.